Hello, TTC. I'm Dolphignition. I know, I haven't made a video in a while, and that was because I had the honor to be a part of something special. My girlfriend's sister's wedding. Shout out to Jen and Alex, and good luck to your future. Even if, Alex, you're a Patriots fan. Still, good luck to the both of you. And of course, my big shout out to my girlfriend for allowing me to be a part of that experience. I had so much fun, but now let's get talking to football. Let's rewind back to last week. I never made a Texans hate week because I didn't think we'd win, and neither did the Sun Sentinel. And sure enough, while in our game against the Detroit Lions, we were always one step behind. And then, there at H-Town, going up against the Watt duo at Energy Field. I'm sure there's a meme going on in that. If not, shame on y'all. We played like we were not one, but two steps behind. After that performance, I could have made a Jets hate week, but considering I wasn't able to watch the game between us and the Jets at Hard Rock on TV, from start to finish, as I was spending time with my girlfriend at Disney Springs, which, what used to be called Downtown Disney, that's not the case. Sure, I could have made a victory lap. This video could have been a victory lap after watching the highlights, but I take that as a cowardly move. Real victory laps come from perspectives from watching the entire game from start to finish. Another reason I didn't make a Jets hate week was because I didn't feel like treating this game like confidence, like representing my team. Nah, going into this Jets game, I treated this as do or die. Unlike when we faced the Houston Texans, where we only had 4 days to prepare for that game, this game, we had 10 days. And it was at our house. And it was against the Jets, a team that's absolutely no better than us. So, yeah, if we lost this game, I'd be throwing in the white towel right now. Luckily, that was not the case. But I'll get to that in a minute. But I'll get to that in a couple minutes. So I came home after a 3-hour drive, and this game against the Jets and the Dolphins was one of the first things on my mind. And I told nobody to spoil it for me, because I wanted to spoil it to myself. Now I'll admit, I was excited we got that win. It was a low-scoring us 13, them 6, but it was beautiful that I came home to a win. But then the happiness eventually ended as I watched the highlights. And I gotta say, I was rather disappointed because it was really one of those games where we won ultimately because the other team was just flat out a disaster. It wasn't our talent, it was the other team being a disaster. The Jets' defense and offense was crumbling left and right. And though I'm happy my boys, as well as Brock Lobster, capitalized, winning against your rival is a different story when your team is part of the division of death, the AFC East. See, as a Dolph fan, I want to hate the Jets. I want to hate the Bills. But in all honesty, I truthfully desire this division to be an equal, balanced division, rather than my team, the Jets, and the Bills, looking like mere shadows compared to the impressively performing New England Patriots. Before every NFL season begins, I say to myself as I pray, if not my team, please don't let the Patriots win. Please don't let them win it either. As a way of secretly wishing good luck for the Jets and the Bills to put on a show. And what do? Jets do amazing in week 1 and score a couple of good wins here and there until they start losing to really noticeable ones, such as us and against the Browns. And then there's the Bills. Some famous player, forgot his name, got caught in a scandal, and since then, that team is going downhill. And then there's us. We have untapped potential. The problem is, there's 3 problems with us, though. We don't have great coaching staff. When we perform, we keep showing that we're this team that just does good when everything goes well. But when it doesn't go well, especially late in the game, we start to crumble. And last but not least, we don't have decent quarterbacks. In fact, let me go over all the quarterbacks of the past and the present. Let's start with Chad Henne. Ugh. Just mentioning his name gives me nightmares. Jay Cutler. Though I give him props on week 14 last season, why the fuck we chose him instead of Colin Kaepernick is beyond me. Probably because if we didn't, Nike wouldn't be getting so much impressively controversial recognition. Matt Moore. I still remember this game's last season between us against the Jets at our house. Jay Cutler was performing lackluster the first half of the game, which caused the crowd to chant, "We want more! We want more!" And so, they got more. And boy oh boy, did he deliver in the second half of the game. Only to then give us a loss that would forever be etched in the Dolph fans' skulls when we lost at Baltimore 40-0. For the record, that was our last game before we traded away Jay Ajayi to the Eagles. But on top of that, that game was when I thought, perhaps we may need more than just Moore. And then, of course, our main quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind the guy. But when things go good, he does well. But when things go bad, he doesn't. Just remember our game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, I still rant about that game. We had that game in the palm of our hands. And though I blame Montrell Spate for that stupid penalty he gave our team, as well as that questionable penalty TJ McDonald got from those bullshit refs, it was truthfully the entire team's fault for not stepping up to the plate when things are going bad. And it was that game where I finally realized Ryan Tannehill is a decent quarterback, but he's not exactly the best of the best. Fuck, I still remember that embarrassing safety, what was it, like 2 or 3 seasons ago? When we played against the Patriots at Foxborough. It was so embarrassing, that safety that happened against us, that it became a meme, a GIF for those obnoxious Pats fans. Yet I still gave this guy a chance. But he's only good, but not great enough. And lastly, there's Brock Osweiler. When realizing he was going to be our backup quarterback, I was pumped because the only time I've ever seen Brock perform was when he gave Denver that awesome win, ending the Patriots' collections of wins 2 seasons ago. Since then afterwards, people left and right have been saying he's really not that great, but I didn't believe them. That was until our game against H-Town started making me a believer. Don't get me wrong, I love Brock Lobster. But even he's not the answer this franchise wants. The point I'm trying to make with these quarterback comparisons is that we need to give David Fowles a chance! The only time I've ever seen him play was in last season's last game against the Bills at our house. And that was only from the second half of the game. And he didn't play too badly. This time, I feel that kid deserves to have a full game to himself. And I'd like to see how well that guy goes. But whether he's bad or good, it kind of makes me a little mad that Gase is allowing Osweiler and Tannehill to be in the Hard Rock spotlight, but not allowing Fowles. I hate pronouncing his name Fales because we don't know if he's a failure or not, but still. Fales to go in and have a game of his own. Sorry about the noise in the background. That's just outside of my... if you're hearing noise in the backgrounds, that's just people in my neighborhood working on blowing off some patios or some shit. I don't know. Anyways, back to Fales. If Fales is bad, he's bad. But at this point, let's be honest with ourselves, Doll fans. Who's tired of seeing the Brock Ryan show? Adam Gase, if you're still our head coach, you need to put Fales as a starting quarterback in one game. Give him a fucking chance. The ultimate point I'm trying to make in this video is this. I'm really unhappy the way this game between us and the Jets went. Both of us didn't look great, and I almost feel bad for those who had to suffer watching this boring, disastrous game that aren't Jets nor Doll fans. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy we got this win, but I'd be even happier if it was a game that would make the both of us look great. Instead, we really showed the world that once again, this is just another season where we exposed ourselves as the Patriots' shadow. The Patriots' punching bag. Two teams that are just not up to the New England Patriots standards. How the fuck our team did not score much higher against this joke of a team as known as the New York Jets is beyond me. Both their defense and their offense played terribly, and we're just as terrible to only put 13 points on the board. So now, this begs the question. Shall I make a Green Bay Packers hate week? After that half-assed performance, the answer is no. Because I don't make a hate week against a franchise with the most passionate fan base ever if I don't feel we look good enough. And that's sadly the case. If we're starting Osweiler again, I'm going to already bet we're going to lose. Sure, the Packers lost twice before coming into this game, but that was against two great teams, Los Angeles Rams and the New England Patriots. Us, on the other hand, we're not a great team. And I feel the only reason we would win this game is because that's how we are. We're just that extra insult to injury against teams after a painful loss. But I don't feel that's going to be the case against Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers can definitely handle our entire team. And their defense, the Green Bay's defense, is incredible. So hopefully we do somewhat decent before finally heading into our bye week. This game is going to be important in that aspect of setting ourselves up for a relaxation before our last 6 games. First the Colts, then Bills at our house, then Patriots at our house, then Vikings, then Jaguars, and then Bills at their house. Within those games, we should be able to get 4 wins, with the only 2 losses possibly against the New England Patriots at our house and the Vikings at their house. But what better way to head into a bye week before going into these games than to somehow score a win against the Packers before doing so? My fellow Dolphins, wouldn't that be beautiful? So yeah, this is my update in case anyone whom subscribed to me was wondering where I was. And I just want to say thank you for subscribing to me, even though I'm not the type of person that usually likes to ask for subscribers. Still, thank you for subscribing to me. So, for my return, I thought maybe I could give anyone an update, because I'm not the type of person that doesn't let people know if I decide to go dead or not. But to anyone who subscribed to me and was wondering where I was, here's your answer. So Dolphins, let's get this win. But if we don't win, let's not lose being too many steps behind, nor lose with that high of a difference. If we do, to the Miami Dolphins franchise, whatever you have in the back of your minds as far as firing anyone, do it! Just do it! This is Dolphignition. Fins up.